SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Beautiful day to our viewers around the world. Good afternoon. It's afternoon here in Milan, Italy. My name is Godwin Iwejuwa, and we're here on our midweek SSM News Updates, Global Africa. Yes, like we say, we give out our stories, exclusive reporting, and the SSM perspective on today's top news, plus the inside scope on important social issues. So here we are. It should be 12 p.m. West African time and different timing around the world. So you're welcome as you join us. Hopefully also we have our coordinators from different corners of the world joining, hopefully. But if not, yes, we are here and we've come to give the news update from the African in the diaspora standpoint. So let's go down from what we have here. African leaders have converged in Rwanda. It's been a three-day summit, very, very exclusive summit on issues bordering Africa. So the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, highlighted that Africa must possess its own resources and compete globally. So what that means is, yes, we're not processing our own resources. We're not, we're just allowing, other people to process them, use them for their own good. And while we come back to probably buy from them. Imagine buying your own resources from somebody that has refined and tidied it up. So this is what we're doing, and this calls for more of skill. These resources we have, we need to educate our youth into learning skills that will make us completely dependent on this whole process of the processing, the extracting, and everything that surrounds all these resources God has endowed us with. Anyway, the President of Nigeria has highlighted that. He said Africa must be able to process its own mineral resources. They must be also able to compete, use it their own good, as other nations are doing. But you see, these are cheap words. These are words that people, but before I continue, let me bring in Sir George Chukwu. Sir George Chukwu is there. Hope he connects. Sir George Chukwu.
Good morning, Massive Mark, and good morning, viewers from around the world.
That's the man that burns the microphone with real strong points of views. From now, I'll be calling you microphone burner, the mic burner with your verbal words. You're welcome, Big George. George, I was saying some words before you came in. Yes, it's Global Africa, a midweek hump day. There has been this summit going on in Rwanda, and the African leaders have come. They are now coming to their own realization. There's an awakening then. For example, our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says it's time for Africa to process its resources, have that ability to process it, use it also for our good. And we've been saying this before too. He said this at this event. The other leaders have also been speaking. George, are you following that event in Rwanda?
Yes, I
Have you
am.
heard?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. Tell us.
So what we're
Mhm.
seeing here is there is a global shift, because what has been happening, what's being hidden under the tree is now being exposed openly to the whole world. The fact that
Yes.
the superpowers, especially from Europe and North America, they have been manipulating a lot of African leaders, especially those that are weak or maybe they have background that is not as clean. They use
Mhm.
manipulation to tie them down, and then also to use their individual benefits in order to be able to get the resources from Africa. So that's what's been going on. All of a sudden,
That's
the
what we need.
Sahel Africa has been hearing. You saw Mali. They said we don't want to have anything to do with Chad anymore. We saw a lot of African French colonial countries.
Countries.
They Yes, they have decided to say no more. We are not dealing with you guys anymore because you have manipulated us. Even after our own independence, we are not independent. You still want to manage our
Mm.
resources. You want to still want to manage a lot of things that we do. Therefore, we are sovereign countries. We will deal with our own selves. We don't want to have anything to do with you. Many of our leaders are coming to that terms right now, but
Now,
but there is still a shift that is needed. There is still a shift that is needed
what's that
because
shift? What's that shift?
that
What's
shift
that shift?
is that shift is bring, if you want to take my resources, my mineral resources, come and process it in my own country. Let there be employment in my own country. Then the finished goods, we can ship it to your own country. Stop taking my cocoa and then ship it back, raw cocoa, and ship it back to Swiss or Switzerland or wherever, and produce chocolates and bring it back to me as finished products. That time is gone. We need to start building factories in Africa. If you want to take part of our goods, come here, build a factory, employ our people. We can ship some of the finished products back to your country and any other part of the world. So that's what you're
But
seeing.
George, powerful, powerful. But George, the general issue now is we need to go into making our youths, this large number of young people in Africa, to learn skills. The government should now, as they've said this, as the leaders are now realizing all of this, now should go into skill acquisition big time, George. Skill acquisition big time, not small the skill acquisition plan. So
Let-
that these youth can now be able to do, like you gave the example of the cocoa. I
mhm.
mean, we probably don't know how the processing, the extracting, and all those processes that it goes through. So we could now go and learn it and begin it. Go ahead, George.
Okay, so what you're seeing right now, skill acquisition
Mm-hmm.
is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but the other thing is the government itself strategically, and directly
Mm-hmm.
sending these youths out, giving them scholarship to go into these countries that have already mastered the way to produce these things, teach
Okay.
them, bring them back, and let them teach our own people. Or you
Okay.
can build a factory in my country, train my own
Okay.
children, educate them, so employment will be in our country, the resources will be in our
Mm-hmm.
country, the finished goods will be shipped to you or from
To
my
you.
country to you and to
Okay.
other countries. So what you're seeing, Africans are coming to that realization. But let me tell you something
Yes.
that is going on right
Yes.
now. Listen to this. Which are the
Okay.
Sahel countries? Do you know the Sahel countries?
Yes. Mali, Burkina
Niger,
Faso,
Burkina Faso.
Niger.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. The African countries that have been saying that the Sahel countries are rebellious, they are not part of us, they are not our brothers. Most of them, they are learning this from these Sahel countries. If it wasn't for
Mm.
Mali, if it wasn't for Chad, if it wasn't for Niger Republic and all those Gabon and all of them that are rebelling against France now, most of our countries will still be in the same zone. But now, because these
Yes.
Sahel countries have learned how to say, "Master, is our you mastering over us is over. We need to produce our own products." They are coming to that realization. But you see, They are not
They're
giving
coming
them
to my way.
credit, but they're not giving the Sahel countries a credit. But they're the ones that started this process. Who said to you, if it was like with us and Britain, there are so many ties that we need to
Yes,
cut with Britain
yes,
until
Britain.
Nigeria as a sovereign country. When we sit at a table, we are sitting at it as equals. When we
Very good.
negotiate, we
Okay,
negotiate as equals, and that's where we need to come to right now.
that's what we need to come to right now. So, viewers, what we're talking about is the ongoing African Summit in Kenya and what the leaders are saying. So, President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria has called for deeper economic integration across Africa, stressing the need for policies that prioritize the continent's industrial growth and also looking into Africa processing its own resources and competing globally. George, we also had what the other man said. That's Ruto, the host of the event. He says Africa wants investment. Africa wants equal partnership, and Africa is not looking for aid anymore. Is that true? Does our body language show that we're not looking for aid, George?
You see, talk is cheap.
Talk is cheap.
Talk is cheap. But listen to this. We are beginning to realize that our position internationally has been weakened by these colonial masters. Therefore, now we are talking, but we are expecting this talk to create legs and walk. Because
create legs and walk.
The countries, look at France. The country of France has been in desperation because when these countries that they were controlling cut them off, their resources and their GDP fell down. So they're renegotiating with other countries. That is part of the reason why they are basically cutting our president, Ahmed Tinubu. In order, yes, that's what it is. They are cutting him. They're bringing him in. Whatever you need, come on over. Because most of these countries most of these countries that they raped are realizing that it is no longer the same way. It's no longer the same story. We need to change narratives. We need to change the way that we work. It's got to be 180 degrees turnaround.
Yes, 180 degree turnaround. True. So yes, talk is cheap. They said they want the investment, they want equal partnership, but many of those African countries still seek for aid. The Kenya that is talking, we remember also they had a kind of aid indirectly with the plan to bring in British prisoners. You remember, George? So yes. Kenya that is saying this has faltered also. So they want partnership, but they want to also have some support. So anyway, the African global leaders in the it's called Africa Forward Summit. They've now changed some of their tunes and what they're saying, and we hope, like George says, talk is cheap. We hope they will work towards all they are saying. George is still
another thing that I need to talk about is
all right, George, tell us.
It is time for the African leaders to come together. Tear down the walls that these colonial masters have raised, against us with each other. Tear it down and start discussing as one continent. That way, if Kenya is dealing with the foreign countries, they will have a way to deal with them that every other African country can deal with, with all these international countries. Because if I go as an individual, we can talk all of these things, but I go as an individual, I'm alone. Nobody's supporting me. There is no packaged narrative the way that we're supposed to process this. Then I can go there on my own terms. I might be being cheated, but I wouldn't even know it. But if there is a common level of understanding among all African countries, what would not happen? Yes,
negotiating.
Exactly. So when they negotiate, they'll negotiate based on common agreed terms. So these countries are not trying to manipulate us again, maybe because they feel like we are weak on our own. Therefore, they can come and muscle us down and take our resources. So
Because
that's what I think we need to do. Tear down the walls in all African countries so we can visit one another without any problem. Like we can go from France to Italy without any issue. So that's what I'm trying to get them to understand, that it is important for us to meet as African nations, sit down and talk and say, this is the way we have to operate from now on.
We want to operate from now. Strong words. All right, George. George, it's still adoption season in Nigeria. People are still being adopted. People are still kidnapped. Bandits are having their way. There's a very gruesome one I saw the other day, and I don't know. Now they are coming in large number, and they are coming to the southwest. So Ogun State has an estate somewhere in Ogun State, and they came into that estate. Imagine an estate where you have countless number of residents, and they came in and adopted 3 families. This is real sad. So viewers, Ogun State is southwest Nigeria, and we're hearing that it was a large-scale adoption operation. They came, they whisked away the 3 victims. That area is actually Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State, Ijebu-Ode. And the police is yet to tell us what it is, how it is, but they said they came with, witnesses said they came in with skated weapons. They forcefully pushed themselves into the apartment, into their estate, and took away 3 families. So, George, we will keep saying it.
What we are saying is the weakness of our modus operandi.
Okay, but before you continue, let's bring in our big man, Dr. Olufemi Oba-Karonwi from London, UK.
Hello, Dr. Femi.
Hello.
How are you?
The volume is very low from your end. I don't know why.
My own? No, my
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, maybe you need to. We can hear you well.
Come back in again.
Yes. Okay.
Okay then. Okay. So yeah, George, go ahead.
So what I was saying, okay, now we see they say that gunmen came into this Ogun State, and this is one of the police that was confirming the abduction of 3 members of families by suspected gunmen and Ipojo, Golden Estate, Eri in Ijebu. Now we're seeing the weakness of our modus operandi in how to do with insurgency. When you continue to pay these people money, it becomes a viable business, and you are able to create what you call copycats. We don't even know if this is by Boko Haram anymore, or copycats who decided, okay, these people are making so much money, they're just showing us, the kind of guns they have, they're showing us the kind of money they have been making, because our government is so weak to the point where there's no other way to do but to pay them and bring our people back. And also we see that even they're not capturing these terrorists. Every time excuses are being given, they're not capturing them, and when they capture them, more than likely there's a way to for them to get out through the back door. As a result of that, it becomes a viable business, and you're seeing a lot of copycats now. Can you see that is leaving the north, is now going to southwest? They're pushing down. They're coming in. That means that their business is so good that they are expanding it. And those copycats are now, using that modus operandi to go back into families, abduct them, and wait until money is paid. And what is the resulting consequences of all this? Is simply because there are no factories, there are no jobs, only the 3%ers are eating fat. The division between the poor and the rich is so wide right now. And that is one of the major issues that we're dealing with. So we don't even know if it's the Boko Haram now that is operating, or this Islamic terrorists. It could be copycats that are going into these estates and capturing people and pushing down into the southwest. It is so sad.
The tag word here now is copycat. But before we go, let's hear Dr. Olufemi. Can you hear us? Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly now. I can hear you clearly.
Nice. Femi, we've run through some news, but we're on the issue of what happened in Ogun State, the residential estate that was bombed. Attackers forcefully gained entrance into a residence, and this is now Southwest. So, what's your take on this? We're seeing a copycat, like George said, copycat kind of situation now that has been happening enough. Now it's trickling down to Southwest.
It is like George said, listen, criminality has no coloration, criminality has no tradition, and has no tribe, neither does it have an ethnicity. These are criminals who are looking at, oh, this is happening here. We can always use that as an excuse to cover our crimes. Now, these are just criminals who are using this as an excuse to fester their trade. Now, when we talk about criminality, when we talk about crime, notice that armed robbery, as in going to armed robbery, snatching cars on the road, is no more lucrative. What they are using is there's insurgency, there is kidnapping. So all these criminals have changed their tactics of making money. There is nowhere in the world that don't have criminals. These are criminal elements which will be dealt with like criminals. They are nothing but criminals.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay, this is a crime. These are criminals. We know that. They don't have mercy. They kill at will. It doesn't really matter. But with all of this, if we are victims and they remain the assailants and always succeeding in what they do, what stops any other person, like what you said, criminals? Oh man, oh look at this, this Islamic terrorist. They come. Oh, look at the kind of money they're making. They're able to buy these weapons. Oh my goodness. So this is good then. Hey, bro, we can get into this business too and make money. But let me tell you something. The weakness on our nation is the fact that we have refused to deal with these people as criminals. We are so merciful to them. We bring them together, we tell them a few stories, and we say they are repentant insurgents.
No,
and we bring them out. So can you please
no.
Can I say something?
No, I disagree with you.
George, I heard the governor Matawa what's his name? Z something.
Zulu.
I heard him giving reasons why they've assimilated back the terrorists. He said, if a person confesses his sins, he's sincere about it, why not just allow that person? And they said, okay, so this is the reason why they are taking them in. But George, do you think they should be killed?
I'm trying to tell you, no, I didn't say be killed. If there is a war between the two, okay, we gotta deal with them as not only as criminal, but also as people that are coming to kill us. Therefore, we have to defend ourselves because they have killed soldiers, they have killed commanders. Therefore, when we deal with them gun to gun, we have to take care of them. But what I'm saying is this, Dr. Femi, I want you to pay attention to this because this is very, very
important. I'm listening.
We have to have a balanced view over this situation. Think for one moment, okay? Have we dealt with these people as criminals? Please answer me. Yes or no? Have we dealt with them?
Yes. Yes.
So
but it can be done better.
A criminal comes to you and say, "Oh, I have killed about 200 people."
He doesn't.
Can you wait?
Yeah, go on.
Don't listen to react. Listen to respond.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. What I'm saying is this. The way Nigeria, the weakness we have in our country is the Northerners. They don't want to destroy this population of people, regardless of how bad they are. So they say, okay, if they come and confess their sins and say, I'm not doing again, forgive them, rehabilitate them and put back them into the society. What about the crimes they have committed already? What about the people they have killed? There is no consequences to their action. Why wouldn't I get my brothers and let's go and join them?
Can I respond to this?
Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, let him respond.
Good. Let me respond to this. And I'll respond to this with sincerity of purpose, one, and also I will respond to it based on international law. Now, international law says that when people have been arrested and they're being dealt with, there are criminal procedure for dealing with them. That's number one. Secondly, you have to look at the history of this insurgency we're talking about. Some of these people were kidnapped and made and turned to children soldiers who are being used to perpetrate this act. After being drugged or anything, some have been forced to join them. Now, when these people that have been forced to join them are arrested and they are being dealt with, and they are being arrested and they found and they have been arrested, or in the course of them. Now, after process of going to prison or coming out of prison or rehabilitation, are you saying that because they worked for people who forced them into this crime, we should now execute them and put them against the wall and shoot them? Is that what you are saying?
I never say so.
Hold on. No, some of these people are victims. Some of these victims, hold on. Some of these people we are talking about are victims of these criminal activities. They were kidnapped in their neighborhood. Their villages are destroyed, and look at the people that have been kidnapped, and they are forced into fighting on the side of this Boko Haram or these people. When they are released, when they are eventually captured, are you saying that the government should not think and go through their process and realize that what was the history behind them? Now, remember the issue of the policeman that shot the guy in Delta State. The reaction that you are talking about is what we are doing there. Oh, they are criminals. We will deal with them like criminals. If you begin to do that, you are just endorsing extrajudicial killing. That's what you are doing. It is dangerous. It's a thin line. Listen, my brother, I understand where you're coming from. It's a thin line. It's a thin line between this criminality and international law. In Ogun State, we are talking about here, there will be investigation. Before you know it, these people will be arrested. Trust me, these people, because they are coming to the domain that is not a criminal environment, they will be arrested. Recently, some people were arrested, I think in Delta State or Plateau State. They went and they killed a reverend father. They kidnapped some people. When they investigated and they realized that they were parishioners. They pretended they are Fulani men. They were members of the parish.
Okay, let me.
They were parishioners of that church. Who did that? So when you do investigation, some people use that as camouflage and say, "Oh, because there is criminality in Nigeria, then these people have come from Fulani. They will pretend to be Fulani, but they are members of that community."
Okay, what I'm saying once again is this: you bring these people in. You see, there is what you call selective justice in Nigeria. Okay, if somebody from Southeast comes and abducts or does anything or Southwest, you see how the weight of the law will come upon them. And they will go through that normal process of the law and sometimes even discriminately against them. But when it comes to the North, we become so merciful. We begin hold tight. Let me finish. How many insurgents or how many people that are kidnapping in Southeast? You remember when it was so hot in Southeast? It was so hot. But I remember also that one of them, when they were captured, they were all in prison today. None of them has been released. Some of them that were captured in Southeast because it was hot, and it was our own people. Most of them were even Igbos that were working with the Fulanis to, capture people. My friend Ima was killed in this, captured and killed because they saw a police badge on him. So what I'm saying to you is this: we have to have a common way to deal with this because it's becoming so lucrative. Number one, because of lack of consequences. Number two, look at this. The video that you just showed. Can you show that video again with these militants? Show it again. Let me show you something. Please. Can you show it again?
Yes. Okay.
Are these people not wearing camouflage like soldiers? Should they not be dealt with as soldiers? When you have cancer in any part of your body, should you not cut it off? Trump is showing us how to deal with these people when they're born Sokoto. That's what he's trying to show you, an example of how to deal with these people in order to cut that cancer so it will not continue to fester and move into Southwest, South, and Southeast. I am telling you, that is the only answer that would deal with these people once and for all. And when you begin to
Right,
deal with them with kids'
let's
glove, and you want to pamper them and this all that, because we don't want them to kill our people, you're giving them enough money. They buy ammunition and they come against you. We need to decisively deal with
The
this
way you are,
once and for all.
all right.
Sir George, I understand your passion. No, let me just drop this. I understand your passion that Nigeria needs to be secured. But indeed, there's a thin line in all this. Recently, the Nigerian Air Force, hold on. Nigerian Air Force was trying to do.
Add this to your explanation. Add this one. No, quietly. Add this. When Trump came and bombed Sokoto, that particular bomb that was sent over there, did he ask for whether the criminal international law was affecting it? He was trying to show you the way to deal with this people decisively and buy them once and for all. That is it.
You got your information twisted. Okay. They did not drop bomb on their own. They drop bomb with the listen, go and look at it, go and read it. The bomb that was dropped was because was in collaboration with the intelligence of the AFCOM and also Nigerian military intelligence, and they dropped it. The next bomb they tried to drop, they dropped on a wedding gathering.
It wasn't. It was Nigerians that did it. It was Nigerians that did it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. They dropped it on a wedding gathering, and those people are Nigerians too, who are innocent. So in all this, there's a very thin line in trying to do this, and also the strategy to this, and that's why there's more and more collaboration between the security forces in America because of the fantastic intelligence they have and what we have. We know the problem, but we don't have enough technology to deal with this. That's where there's more and more collaboration between the international community and Nigeria. We might know where they are, but how to deal with these insurgents and how to do precise bomb dropping on them, maybe they're very difficult because of the way the terrain and also how they hide amongst the civilians.
Okay, listen to this.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to other topics. Let's move on to other issues that we don't. Yes, but you put it on both sides well. Yes, we're looking also at some other things happening around the world. We also heard that the Ugandan president. We all know that man. He's been there for 40 years now. That's Yoweri Museveni. He's back again. He'll be leading Uganda for the next 4 years in a seventh term. This is seventh term. Let's talk about this. Uganda is not doing too bad anyway lately, economically. I've been following some of the issues. Take note also, it's a landlocked country in East Africa. They said it's now the second fastest growing economy in sub-Saharan Africa, according to IMF report. And it's also ranked as the fourth largest economy in East Africa. But the issue here is one man holding the country for years and years and now almost becomes like a monarch system. What do you guys say, gentlemen? What do you say about Museveni of Uganda coming in again for the seventh time?
Okay, you see, this is it. And this is where we have to draw this line when we talk about democracy. Democracy is good because it will give opportunity for flesh blood to come, bring new ideas that, like what you're seeing in Nigeria. We have been dealing with recycled type of government in Nigeria, whereby you see the elderly, they don't want to give up. It doesn't matter how old they are. Look at Atiku. He still wants to come and run. He's 79 years old today. Now, even if after 40 years, he will also want to run again at the age of 83. But okay, you see people like Dr. Femi, you see people like me, people like you, young blood, that understand, the technological advancement in the world today and how to deal with some of these things. Some of these people, they don't even know how to do WhatsApp. Some of these presidents, they don't know how to do WhatsApp, how to use WhatsApp, talk less of any other technical, improvement that has been happening in the world. So what we need to do is a bad example. Cameroon, that man is Paul Biya is almost 100 years old, and And then look at this Ugandan president. And then when they want to get up, you have to hold them to get up. And they forget Paul Biya was looking for his glasses. And then one of the soldiers, he kept on looking for his glasses. Said, "Sir, what are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my glasses." And he's waving his glasses in his hand. And the soldier said, "Oh, your glasses are there, right there." So these are what we're dealing with most of these, countries that refuse to allow younger people. And it's because of selfish. You see, when we are talking about Africa, it's happening in Russia. It's happening in Russia. It's happening in China. So, democracy might not be for every country, but the form of democracy that we apply could be a little bit way to the point where it will give fair chances for everybody else to operate. So that's what we're saying. It's
That's
so
a
sad.
good one.
But the man
That's a
is
good
doing
one.
good.
So,
The man is doing good.
well,
And the country is not
yes.
trying. So
Yeah,
I don't know how
the man that came second, said they played. I mean, there was some back end arrangement. That's his closest rival, called the musician called Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine came second, and people are saying Bobby Wine actually won the election because the people love Bobby Wine, but somehow it didn't work out that way. So Museveni is back.
By the way,
Mhm.
before we condemn that act, it's been happening in Russia, it's been happening in China, and it happened in America. I picked up the telephone and said, "I need me 11,000 votes. Find it." What is that? Hello? Hello? I need me
Yeah,
11,000 votes from Georgia.
find
I
it,
need it. Find it. What is that?
find
Thank
it.
you. I end my
That's
case.
that you end
Now,
your case.
It's universal. All I'm saying is universal. It's universal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Femi.
on this matter of election in other nations that are not
Uganda,
Nigeria,
precisely.
Uganda and
Yeah.
all this stuff. Now, politics in those nations are very local. Now, they have a very laid back nation in Uganda, a nation that has been battered from the years of Uganda of Idi Amin all the way to now. And
Yeah.
imagine from Idi Amin to now, the same man in office, and he's become like a king of Uganda. So
Yeah.
election is just a novelty. This is seventh term. Seventh term. The
7.
only thing, the only thing is the only I think the only thing that would that defeat Museveni, like Paul Biya, will be death. That do you think that defeat these guys? But in all this, if you look at in all this the challenges they have in their nations is not about just transition to changing of power. It's also they have some economic challenges. Are they solving those economic challenges? Are they finding solution to them? So we need to look beyond those two people. Those Biya is not the one ruling in Cameroon. It's his wife and his friends are ruling in Cameroon.
And
Just a figurehead. It's just a armchair decoration. In Museveni, is a very hands-on person. And in all this, it is all about killing democracy to the West when it doesn't suit them. But when it suits them, it is okay. Now, we're talking about Museveni. We're talking about Paul Biya. What about Kagame in Rwanda? This is 20-something years in office.
yes,
Nobody's talking about him.
Nobody's talking about him.
Nobody's talking about him.
Watch this, though. Let me add to you. They're even dealing with him in such a fundamental, way that he
Yeah.
doesn't even. Nobody's hearing that he's saying over and over and over. Even Britain was working with him, to create a prison, for criminals that are going to be transferring. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Femi, what you are saying is completely right, because we are not, these nations that are trying to force, democracy on us or whatever the case might be. Look at what happened in the past. Who was their darling in Egypt? Who was their darling in Iraq? originally?
Even in Zimbabwe.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
see,
Zimbabwe.
Until he fell out with them.
yeah, when you
Mhm.
see these countries, that are, once they are there and they are, the masters are gaining a whole lot of the big chunks of meat, they don't say anything. They don't say much.
But
You know
anyway,
what?
economists say that Uganda is moving, like I said earlier. He said second fastest growing economy in the sub-Saharan Africa.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might be
Mhm.
after a while, because it's almost like he's going to continue. So after a while, he will start doing some things because he too wants to continue to move on. Nobody wants to be a president and the country is a mess. He would want to do some things that will make the country right. But the thing is that, is he doing it from the right perspective? And another thing we also have to understand in all this is the fact that they are not the only ones in this. Now, if you look at the records of Benin Republic, what's it called? Zaire,
Togo,
which is Togo, and
Zaire,
all these countries have had people like this in office. My challenge is not that whether they are long in office. When they die or they are ousted, the country most of the time collapses because it is a system run around one person. One of the things that countries like ours is thriving is that after 8 years, after 8 years you must leave. So no matter what you want to do, do it within 8 years. Somebody else is preparing himself to do better or to improve where we are. But these people, there's no one to push that boundary, and therefore the crisis is staying there. So when they leave or they die, that's what happened to Mobutu Sese Seko. The moment he died, crisis started. What happened in Benin? What happened in Libya? He was there for so many years. So Yadema, Libya, when he was killed off, that country had no head of president today.
Let me say that that's
Iraq,
a very intelligent thing to say.
Afghanistan.
That's a very intelligent thing, Femi. Yes, and this is why the Africa need to rethink. George was also highlighting. Maybe this Western democracy is not for us. Maybe, I mean, we can't just be following something for years now and it's not helping the people. The people are still in that same spot. So I really think that human intelligent group of people, Africa, should come down. Let's come to talk about this democracy thing in Africa. It's time.
Democracy will work. Democracy will work in Africa. But we have our own type of democracy.
You just said it now. You just said it now, and it's true. All the countries you mentioned, that's really how it is. Zaire, Togo, Benin, all of these countries have, because it centers on one man. When that man is no more, the whole thing crumbles. People suffer. The masses go through a lot suffering. So it's something to really look at. But you see, we want to be politically correct.
Let me help you with this, that analogy to the end. We have our own, because the democracy of every nation or demography is determined and also painted by the culture of those people. I saw recently somebody, when the money was being shared at the political rally, some people say, oh, they are embedding poverty. Listen, that's our own type of democracy. That's our own type of democracy.
But when we look at that,
hold on, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. No matter in Nigeria today, when you go to political background in a grassroots, no matter how much they will say, what did you bring? That is our mentality. That's our culture. Even if you, Mark and Sir John, if you go home to Nigeria today, when you get to your community, ask them, I want to come and do, they will say, what did you bring? So the mentality in Africa also is enculturing and painting the kind of democracy you have. They know you want to come and do something, but you must bring something. Let me give you a quick analogy of one. My brother said something when he was in office, when he was in House of Reps. He said something that if you want to do election in Nigeria and you go there on a motorcycle, nobody will talk to you. If you go on a Toyota, nobody will talk to you. Go on a Jeep. They say, yes, you have a Jeep. Therefore, we can talk to you. They look at what you have that you can give to them before because you can lead them. You must be able to give them something before you can lead them. So that's our whole type of democracy.
But it's because the people have been rendered into that state.
It is not.
Mind.
It is not.
Yeah, and now
Even the rich, rich too. The rich also look for the big one, big fish.
You know of the country I'm in now, Italy. You know, Italy went through recession. Italy went through a time when poverty was engulfed them. In fact, if you go to Italy, they still have pictures of how it was. You know, squalor, fields, all those things. This country, this Western, they took themselves from that level and became part of the West. So it's a mindset. We have allowed ourselves to degenerate to that level, but we can also say no. Let's be normal. We all came out of Nigeria and see how we behave outside. Meanwhile, that's not how we are in Nigeria. So the human mind is something you can work on. It's something you can say, no, I don't want to be like this. Nigerians living in the West, they stay on cue. They follow order. They do the right things because they are in an environment that teaches you that you must learn it. You see, but we've not done that back home. Our people are still thinking it's like that. Give us money. What did you bring? We can say, no, I'm not bringing anything, but I want to serve you. And the man that has said,
they won't listen to you. They won't listen to you.
Will not listen. And we're going to be in that. We'll be in that rat hole for years and years.
It is not. Eternity. We will give them some time. They will get out of it. Give them some time. Listen,
one of the major problems we've been having is this the weakness of the institutions in Nigeria is one of the major problems. The influence of the executives over the judiciary is another issue that we are having when it comes to democracy in Africa as a whole. And then, as a matter of fact, even in America, look at it today, because we used to blame ourselves so much and beat ourselves down. But look at everything that we've been complaining as, the institutions being so weak to the executives that it is even happening in America, whereby all of a sudden you go to the Supreme Court in America, they are influenced not simply because of being able to understand the both sides and say, okay, this is the value judgment you are going to make for the benefit of the people, but they want to please one man because they are afraid of that one man, which is the executive head. So what we are seeing is that it is universal to a degree, because we're seeing it now. It's in Russia. It's all over the place. The judicial system in Russia cannot do anything against Putin because they'll be afraid to be just unalived. And in the same way, in many places, in America today, look at what they're doing to people that come against the president. So when you see these things, we begin to back off a little bit, soften our narratives, because it's happening all over. It is a sign of the times. As some of the countries can mask it, but in Africa it's well exposed, and even those people that are doing it, practicing it, they are condemning us for copying what they are doing, because what they are doing is wrong. So we need to come to a place. I don't think that democracy should be removed from Africa, but each particular country can actually adopt the way, based on culture, tradition, the way of people thinking, and the way they behave, in order to suit that particular place. Some might have it 6 years instead of 4 years. Some might have it 4 years, every 4 years or 8 years. The rotational presidency in Nigeria, there are weaknesses about it. Yet it's giving fairness to both sides, or else the people that are more populated will always win, and many of them are not even educated, unfortunately.
Because you all lost it, George and Dr. Olufemi, at the time when you would have been involved in politics, you all ran away, came abroad, came to live with you. Garbage and touts penetrate, and they are the ones politicians.
I had my own share of politics when I was much younger. Do you know? I'll tell you on this. I was one of the people that led the SAP riot, and I spent 6 months in the gallows for this. 6 months in the So I paid my price. But you know what?
You know what?
I am still active, but I don't not for political office. I'm not running for political office. There was a mistake we made, which I want to support what you said. What we did was to fight, and we are not planning to take over. We are planning to fight and win, but we're not planning to take over. By the time we realized that, it was too late. Those who were not fighting, those who are working with Abacha, and those who are working with Babangida, were the one that took over. The likes of David Mark, who was a minister under the military, that said there's no need, the poor telephone is not for poor man. He became the Senate president. So that was a problem we had. The cronies of the military took over government. While we were fighting, we were not contest election. The likes of what's this lawyer that died in Gani Fawemi, they said we're not going to participate in the election. So after the first fight, and they realized that they messed up, he came back and formed NP and National Party. Yeah, and it was too late. It was too late.
But let's exempt you. Let's exempt you. But on a larger scale, truly, a lot of enlightened, intelligent Nigerians ran away. And you see, life doesn't live. You can't have an empty space. So the touts came in and took the space. And today, MC Oluma and all of the rest are all in the House of Rep. The kind of MC Oluma. No. I mean, he's kind. I mean, he's kind of people.
But
all right. So anyway, let's talk about Dr. Femi. I know a ball man, a football man. Tinubu is bidding that Nigeria should host the 2026 CAF award. Do we host an award where we're not join the World Cup and want to host a continental award? What do you say?
The continental award is an award. It has nothing to do with whether we host something or not. And the thing is we have the ambience, we have the environment for it, we have the culture for that kind of thing. So we should bring anything that will bring foreign direct investment to Nigeria. Why not? Let's take it on. Another thing is we need to also assert ourselves in African after the politics of African sports. The North Africans have taken so much on it. Look at what they were trying to do. They were even trying to rob Senegal of the African Cup of Nations because they were playing on their soil. Do you know that the past three African competition, major African competition, have been hosted by Morocco? All are hosted. Women, under 17, under 20, CAF was hosted by Morocco. So Morocco's influence in African football was so huge that they wanted them to win the AFCON. So when they couldn't win on the pitch, they wanted to try to steal it. Against Nigeria, they cheated Nigeria to get to the finals. So they got away with Nigeria. They thought they were going to get away with Senegal. Senegal learned from that and refused. So now we need to come back and reassert ourselves. We are the giant of Africa. In the time of MK Abiola, when MK Abiola sneezes, CAF catch cold. It was one funding CAF where there was no money in CAF. And now today, CAF is being funded and being run by North Americans. Not Africans, and we need to take our right of place. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Let's also talk about JAMB. It's good we keep highlighting on education in Nigeria because that's the bedrock of good country. The JAMB just unveiled 2026 UTM top scorers, the list. And it's nice to see that young students are doing their best to get good grades in the JAMB. There are names there. Dr. George, we should do more to encourage young children, these students to perform educationally well. So what will you say? The list there. Okay, go ahead, George.
Now, when you have your high scores because of the level of your intelligence, or maybe because you work so hard to get these things, some of these things we need to start giving credit to them, find out what they are interested in, actually pay for their education, especially if they come from, unfortunate families that are not so fortunate in wealth. So
indigent background.
Indigent backgrounds. When we see them, we need to encourage them. I remember when I was in the university, River State actually sent thousands of their citizens to school, and they were all on scholarship, and most of them became leaders afterwards. So these are the things, So when they do good, they are intelligent, and that they might continue with education rather than dropping down to do trading or whatever else. But they have that educational background in them in whatever they decide to do, like Dangote. If Dangote is not very well educated, maybe he might not be as successful, because there's a way to deal with it, deal with international businesses with that fundamental on educational understanding. So it is good for us to see these young people when they are doing well, pick them up, especially if their background is not so well, so we can train these people and they can change the conversation in the family. It can be one individual alone can
Nice.
raise a family to become from poverty to rich or middle class or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the list we have there, let us run through 5 of them. It's a young girl called Uweye Daniela. Uweye
Daniela.
Daniela. Yes, and she scored 372, and her first choice was Unilag. That's very impressive. And we have on the second list there, Kingsley Ekene, 370. Yes, 370. Ikena, yes, that is Ikena. Yeah, computer science, 370, Nell University. We have Bamisile Ayomide Emmanuel, 369, Futa. Then we have Ola BEC, Olarewaju, 368. We have also Victor Onyeka, 368, and the list goes on and on. So very good. We want to applaud all of these students. Well done for doing this. We hope that it will also increase with time. Let's have 400 points.
Can I just make a comment about this? In all this, we're seeing these beautiful scores, and all we do is clap our hands and they go to university, and then we have Big Brother on television and somebody win 50 million, all by just showing their bomb on TV or doing stupid things on television, and they become famous for doing silly things. And this indigenous student, like Sir George said, struggle to university. And when they say education is capped, and we condemn it. We as a nation, I'm talking about as a nation, Nigeria, we need to begin to encourage this kind of people, this set of people, first 10 scholarship to master's degree. That's an incentive for them as well. Incentive for them to study more. And then these are the eggheads that will take us to another level in education, in life. Not the way we start encouraging these people, these names, we mention them now. After a few weeks, it disappears. But stupid people on Big Brother Nigeria will become stars, and they become the famous faces on television, and they become whoever it is. And look at that. There's a boy on television, on social media. I don't want to mention his name. I don't want to give him hype. He does stupid things. And he's a multimillionaire. And with a girl, he starts touching her all over the place. And people are looking at that. And this boy is raking in millions. To the extent that one day he wrecked his car on television, on online. And people are hyping that. And that's the kind of thing that brings money to people and fame. Meanwhile, those who are doing the right thing are not doing the right thing. So as a nation, we need to reorganize and reprioritize ourselves.
Dr. This is powerful. This is, in fact, I think we've said this countless times on other broadcasts. George, even Dr. Shegun from the other side. This should be echoed louder, what you just said. Because of the truth, this shows how we reason within ourselves. We applaud these graceful things, and we put down noble things. This is, you see, and a lot of times these same people will complain of the presidency and the government. Meanwhile, among ourselves, we're doing the wrong things.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to. George, would you want to add to what he said? No.
There's nothing to add. He just said it all. The fact of the matter is the sign of the times. Let's understand this. What I do condemn is the ones that are doing something like, 419, Yahoo boys, doing all those things in order to make money. But these ones, they're going through the system. They are going through a system. A system. Yes, and the system is worldwide. It's not only in Nigeria, it's all over the place. They're making money. You see thousands in North America following these young people. They're doing silly things. So, I don't condemn them, but I think we should put more emphasis on making sure that education is the key to success. That even if you, whatever part of whatever you want to do, make sure you get that foundation, which is your skills in education, in order to move forward in life. So, I applaud you on what you just said, and we need to really pay attention to it. But I don't want to condemn these young people who find a niche and they're taking advantage of it, because you don't want Chinese people to be the only ones doing that. You don't want to, North American countries, they're making money. They started making money until we learn how to do that. So it's a system. It's a system.
It's
And
a
that's
system.
how
But
to
we should do more praise. We should give more praise, accolade, and all the rest to
That's
this
what
kind of thing.
that's what we are doing
Yes,
here. But
that's
in the
what we are
world,
doing.
we can't tell the world what to do, because they have freedom of speech and freedom of choice.
But really, our priorities should be right. The priorities are really terrible. I tell you, I really agree with Dr. Femi. Power punch talk there. That was power punch talk. Thank you. At least, but let's also do small condolence to the family of a popular Nollywood actor. The Nollywood have carved a niche for themselves. From nothing, they become also a global brand, making money. Families are living on those crafts. So, but there's a young man called Alex Kobo. Alex Kobo. I don't know. Yeah, Okubo. He passed away yesterday, cancer. If you know, there's a song called "Do You Know Johnny?" Yemi Alade. He was the character in that song. Yes, he played it very well. The young man that was chasing all the village girls. Sadly, that young man has passed. Studio is trying to get the photo for us, but I don't know. So, George, you're on the entertainment line too. What do you say to Alex Kubo?
He's a handsome young man. We never knew he was sick, but I think he had some kind of cancer that he's been sick, and it's been reported that he knew that his time was coming, because the messages he was posting towards his death actually was showing that he understood that maybe the doctors told him that he have so long to live. So our condolences to the family, and such a handsome young man, So may the Lord help the family and sustain them and strengthen them in this time of their bereavement.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you both for coming. It's been awesome. Very, very intelligent opinions today. Well-sounded, grounded points of views and perspective. Well, let's go. Viewers, it's been fun here.
You know you're my man. Make you prepare a bedu for me. You're telling you what to prepare a bedu for me when I come to London.
Yeah, you are welcome anything. My house is yours.
I was in Lagos. I was supposed to meet what's his name again? This Yoruba guy that used to work with us, Massive Mark.
Yeah.
Your friend now from Lagos.
What's
his name? He was
that worked with. What did he do?
No, he was the strong man with us. He was very different.
Raji.
So I was supposed to go and see Raji, but what happened was I was in Port Harcourt, and because of my NIN number, it delayed me. I wasn't able to see him. I was looking forward to seeing Raji in Lagos, and I shout out to you, Raji. I love you, my brother. Stay cool. We'll see you again.
When you come to the London, I promise you, I'm taking to go and eat amala and begiri. The abula stuff.
Abula style. George doesn't know what it means. George, it is when they put the amala They pour the beggi, the beans,
On top of
the
it, yes.
grounded beans,
and the
on
wedu
top
and the
of the
stew on
amala
it.
and everything. Listen, that's like, I mean, it's like you're somewhere else.
It's like heaven on earth, heaven on earth.
Oh,
When we go to
you'll be
parties,
sweating.
when we go to parties here, they bring the fire, they bring everything, they do it right there. You come
Yeah.
with your plate and they fill it up. When you're looking at it, it's so huge. When you start eating it, you can finish a whole big bowl and
Yeah.
feel light. It's
Now
really
you are
good.
talking. Now you are talking.
I love it. I love it.
All right, then.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Very have a beautiful week.
Yeah.
God
God
bless
bless
you all.
the Federal
Thank you.
Republic of Nigeria. God bless our president
Amen.
and grant them wisdom.
Amen.
And then to fight corruption, unalive corruption in our country, so we can move
Amen.
forward. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. God bless you guys.
Bye-bye.
Guys.
Peace
Thank you.
out.